Hi there. Right. So today this is kind of a it's kind of an introduction to my channel slash I'm going to be showing my Bowie collection. So yeah. Um, so I'm going to start with what I think is the most interesting. That's the vinyl. So this is what I've got playing at the moment. It's a I believe this is from 1980. If you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm using my mobile phone camera, so this might be of quite shitty quality. So, and if I talk too fast, then just tell me and I'll speak a bit slower in my future videos. And so, this is what I've got playing at the minute. I picked this up at a car boot sale last summer for £2.50, which was just very good going. But when I was there last summer, I also picked up this, and it's a German compilation. This is it just appears to be called David Bowie, and it's got basically his recordings from a few from like basically his recordings from his early career, and it's got like Let Me Sleep Beside You, Karma Man, blah blah, all, you know, like all that. It's actually very good. I really like his early stuff. And the sleeve is a little bit damaged. I got this for £2.50 as well. So I'm kind of making my way through this. I do have a copy of Space Oddity somewhere. Oh, here it is. I do that. Here it is. See, it's one of the European. It's one of the European reissues. It's one of the European reissues that they did in like the 1980s, and it's obviously the 1972 reissue cover. I picked this up at a vinyl stall at Top Town Market in my town, and the guy who sold it to me wasn't particularly friendly, but it's in very good condition actually. The sleeve is a little bit scratched and everything, but the record itself plays wonderfully. Now, oh, there's a story behind this one. But anyway, so I got this. The same guy sold it to me on the same day. He told me it was from his personal collection. Smells quite nice actually. It smells like a museum. Yeah, but I played it and it's virtually unlistenable. It is so scratched. But I do now have a massive photo of 1971 Bowie, which is my favourite. So. Yeah, but it's probably one of my favourite albums, which is a great shame that it's so scratched. But again, it's the because you know, RCA International. It's one of the European 1980s reissues. My granddad lent me this. I'm not sure if it's a reissue or whether it's the original. I'll just check. I think this is the original because the vinyl itself is very thick. It's probably an original. Yes, 1972 is the original. My granddad lent me this. He used to before he went off to uni. He went to uni when he was in his 40s. But anyway, in the 80s, he was a vinyl seller. And his spare room is absolutely full of vinyl. He's got mostly Elton John records, but he has a few Bowie, and he basically lent those to me. And it's great. This one, it's very good condition. Very good condition. Yeah. And it's problem is though the disc is a bit warped because obviously he stacks them up this way, which by the way you probably shouldn't do. No offense to anybody who actually does do that, but you probably shouldn't. It's not very good for him. But he stacks them up this way, and and it probably rested a heavy object on it, so the disc is very warped. So when it plays side 2, the sound sort of goes a bit like that. That's the best way I can put it. But anyway, so that happens. And then I picked this up at the car boot sale as well. Heroes. Few skips in the first track, creating some interesting new lyrics. But that's about it, yeah. It's very, very good, this one. My favourite of this, I do have a lot of favourites of this album. Particularly as, I love the Berlin Trilogy, particularly as I'm quite a big fan of Brian Eno's stuff as well. And obviously he did synthesizers, keyboards and guitar treatments on this. And also, my favourite Bowie stuff is probably the stuff that was produced by Tony Visconti, and he produced this album as well. So, yeah, but anyway, I'm rambling about that. And now on to the last couple. I picked this one up at the vinyl stall as well in town, and when I first got it, I bought it home and realised that there was no disc in it, so we had to go back and get the disc for it. But it's in absolutely perfect condition, it plays wonderfully. This is my favourite thing about this. I think it's gatefold, it's gatefold. And I also picked this up at the vinyl store, and this was the day that he gave me a very dirty look, the man who sold me it, and I've been scared to go back there ever since. But anyway, got this in very good condition. And that's the last of the 33s I've got. 45s. Picture discs. Woo! Picture discs. Life on Mars. Well, that's playing right now. How appropriate. As beautiful this is. It fizzles a little bit. Sort of, you hear that kind of noise when it gets about here. But apart from that, it plays wonderfully. But the thing about picture discs is they're kind of to be, you know, looked at instead of, you know, like you can play them like I play them, but they're more there to be looked at. I've got Sorrow as well. This one plays beautifully. This one is picture disc and it also plays beautifully. Picture's very beautiful. Yeah, so... Oh, by the way, this is probably going to be a very long video. And my phone battery is probably going to die. I charged it all night, but it probably is going to die. Oh, and this is very interesting, this one. It's the Toy Soldier EP by the Riot Squad. That was Bowie's band in 1967. It's got some very interesting stuff on it. If you should look it up on YouTube. If you've never listened to it, definitely look it up. Toy Soldier, the first song, it's basically the Velvet Underground's Venus in First with a few changes. It's about a sadistic toy soldier and a girl named Sadie. Yeah, just listen to it. It's great. But yeah, anyway, I got this. I've bought it off Amazon for a very good price. About the same as these actually. So I bought all three of these and it only came to £18. Okay, so that's all the vinyl I've got. Probably gonna go on to CDs now. These are in no particular order because I just shoved them down off my shelf, which is in order, by the way. But anyway, so I'm going to at least attempt to put these in some form of order right now, just to make it easy for myself. Anyway, this one, I don't actually own Bowie's first album. Kill me, I don't. But anyway, so I've got this. London Boy, it's a compilation. The legendary 60s recording. See, I love his 60s work. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's brilliant. But it's very good, this. Yeah, I picked it up for £5 at my local HMV a couple of years ago. When I first became a fan, that was. And also, I bought that along with Diamond Dogs, but we'll get on to that. I love this cover. I prefer this cover to the 1972 reissue. I'm constantly looking for this one on vinyl, but anyway, yes, Space Odyssey. Spoken about that. This one, oh my god. I'm sorry, but just like, how beautiful is that? I'm not very professional at this, sorry. But that is beautiful. Beautiful. My favourite Bowie album, this is. I'm not going to do any CDs that I haven't already done on vinyl, so yeah, I own these. Yeah, I've got this live album as Santa Monica 72. Yes, I think I got this for about £10 from HMV. Yeah. Aladdin Sane. Another very good album. Bowie's first #1, I believe. Yeah. Pin-Ups cover album. Songs from the 60s. And yeah. I can't think of much else to say about this, as I believe, definitely correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I think that's Twiggy. Is it? Please tell me it is. But I think that's Twiggy next to him, and it was, or it either was going to be, or it was the cover of Vogue one time. Or some other magazine, I'm not entirely sure. Most of my Bowie knowledge revolves around the years 1966 to 72. I don't really pay much attention to anything that happened after 72. I'm such a terrible fan. But then there's Diamond Dogs, the first album by him that I bought. I wish I had the vinyl gatefold because can't really tell, but yeah, that's supposed to be like, yeah. Oh, hang on. No, that ain't gonna work. And there's also from the Diamond Dogs tour, which never came to any country other than the USA, which was quite sucky for Brits, probably, considering I am British. And even though I wasn't born then. Young Americans. There's only 8 tracks on this one, but Bowie does soul kind of thing. Yeah. Station to Station. This was like my favourite album like ever for a while. Only 6 on this one, but all but 1 are over 5 minutes long. Yeah, but that one is Golden Years, and that's 4 minutes. So yeah, all the songs in that one are really, really long. Berlin Trilogy. I've got 2 of these on vinyl. Struggling to hold them, but anyway, this is the only one that I don't have on vinyl. Scary Monsters. I went through like, I've got almost all of his albums on CD. Let's Dance. I actually quite like this album, and I'm not a big fan of pop music. I'm more into like, well obviously I'm into like rock, stuff like that, and this is more a pop album, but I actually really, really like it. I got this for £2.50, I never took this off, because I also got a copy of the Velvet Underground and Nico on CD, and I got both these for somewhere in £5, somewhere in Hull, and it was that place. It was like musicmagpie.com, if anybody's ever heard of that. It's basically where all your stuff goes if you give it to Music Magpie. And so the Velvet Underground and Nico one that I got was ridiculously scratched, unplayable, but I have that on vinyl now, and I've not actually listened to Tonight yet. I really ought to, but I did import some MP3s, and it appears to play perfectly well. Never Let Me Down. Well, either one of these two is universally considered to be Bowie's worst album by many people. But I like more songs on Never Let Me Down than Tonight. The only song I actually like on Tonight is Loving the Alien, which is absolutely beautiful. Never Let Me Down, I like Time Will Crawl, Never Let Me Down, Day In Day Out, and Glass Spider, so I like